Hello, welcome back to the Marni On The Move podcast. I'm your host, Marni Salam. Today on the podcast, I am syncing up with Liis Berendsen Rametta. Liis races with Team Octagon Elite and is consistently placing top 10, even top 5 in her age group at some of the world's most high-profile competitive endurance events. We recently caught up just after she raced the Boston Marathon this April. And she's also tackled the Ironman Kona World Championships, which is where she qualified for Boston. In this episode, we dive into how she does it all, balancing intense training and racing with motherhood, career, and life. Liis shares her mindset, her approach to staying consistent, and what drives her to keep pushing her limits. This combo is a good one. Heads up, if you haven't already done this, follow us on YouTube, Marni On The Move podcast on YouTube. Head over to our Instagram channels, our TikTok channels, Marni Salam, Marni On The Move. Support the podcast. Share this conversation with your friends. Take a screenshot, post it on your channels, tag us, we'll tag you back. All right, let's get into our combo with Liis. Liis, it's so awesome to meet you. I know we were supposed to connect in Boston when you did the Boston Marathon, but it was definitely, there was a lot going on, and I feel like I was running around, and I'm sure you were trying to relax before the race. How was it? Give me your race debrief. And I know it was your second marathon.
So it was my second ever open marathon. I ran one in 2014, so 11 years ago. And then
Wow.
Marathons at the end of an Ironman. So that's how I ended up qualifying. I qualified with my time from Kona. So, and once I figured out that I can use my Kona marathon time, I was like, well, I got to take it, because I don't know what's the next time I'm going to run the marathon that will actually qualify, because they don't take any time, as you know. So, or any course.
I didn't realize that you could qualify at a triathlon for
Kona
Boston.
Yeah, the other ones you can't, because I tried to qualify a year before with my time from Sacramento Ironman, and it's not a certified course, so I couldn't use it. So, but I've always wanted to do Boston, because I feel like, you're not a real triathlete until you do an Ironman. You're not a real runner until you do Boston, right? I mean, I don't
Right,
think that.
I agree.
Well, that's what the first thing they ask. Have you done Boston? So.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's like when you're kind of getting into the sport, it's like you want to set the bar high, right? So, I mean, of course, people are still triathletes. Just, I know that you're saying this for you, but like that do other distances. But I am like with you on Boston, and also just like, like just setting the bar high. And so so like with Boston, like, how was it?
It was amazing. I definitely set the bar high for myself with Boston. Like, I know a lot of people go into Boston as like their celebration race, right? They worked really, really hard to qualify for Boston, and then they take the time in Boston to just like soak it all in and just enjoy the day. But I went in with like the mindset that I need to break 3 hours. That was my goal, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to run another open marathon when I'm still fast. So I was like, okay, this is my chance to kind of, if the weather is okay, if my body holds up, I really want to try to break 3 hours. So I kind of put a little bit more pressure on myself with that. But when people asked me, like, what's your goal? I didn't shy away. I was like, you know what? It's okay to say out your goal. And if you don't meet your goal, that's okay also. Like, we just kind of, it's okay. You set your bar high, like you said, and then, do it or not. So
yeah,
that was kind of my mindset going into it. I did some of the things in Boston that you're supposed to do when you go there. I went to some of the pop-up shops and the different Tracksmith or Run Rabbit, or like all the different little pop-up shops, and did the photos at the finish line and all that. And I didn't walk around in Boston a lot. We did like a bus tour, because I wanted to just, but I really liked Boston. I thought it was a really cool town. So
yeah. I mean, can we just talk about how you qualified in an Ironman triathlon for a marathon, like you must be so fast. Like that is harder than like in my humble opinion, I think like after doing the bike and the swim to be able to qualify for Boston, that's incredible.
Yeah, so I qualified in Kona with a time of 2:25. I think that was my
Holy
no
sh-
3:25.
That's
So
amazing. Oh my God, that's awesome.
I think my age group time was 3:35 was the time to get in this well, but the time I ended up to get in was 3:30. So I had a little bit of a
Okay.
buffer. So I felt pretty comfortable that I was going to get in if they accepted the time from Kona. Fortunately, though, what happened was that because I qualified with quite a bit slower time, what my goal was, I was in a third wave. So that kind of made it a little trickier.
Yeah.
I was third wave, second coral. So when I started the race, I was able to move about a minute before the race. Before they start the race, they will, they let you kind of move forward. So I was able to
Mm-hmm.
get the race right when the gun went off, and I started to run, and I was like, oh no, there's no people here. This is totally fine. This is great. We're talking about that. There's like a lot of people here, and then like 6 miles into it, when I caught up to the second wave, at first it
Yeah.
was fine, but like between the 6 and the 10 miles, and then from there on, it got really crowded. So that was one challenge, but
I know. I feel like when we are doing triathlon, there's no one. It's
no,
like you could be out. I mean, not no one, but like you could be out there, 10 people, 15 people in a group, maybe.
yeah, no. I mean, I did Ironman Sacramento that I ended up winning as the female overall winner. And my last 2 miles, I didn't see a single person. I was alone. You run into the city, and I had a police escort, and there were no spectators either there yet. And so I was just like, just me. And so I was actually really looking forward to like a big atmosphere, because I mean,
Yeah.
triathlon, you have that like at the finish line,
Mm,
so much time in your own head. Um,
yes.
so
And did you run with music?
no, I did not run with music in.
Wow. Okay.
No, I don't. I mean, I run with like podcasts and sometimes with some music when I train. But because in a triathlon, you can never race with music. You're not allowed to. So it wasn't a big deal, and I felt like I was. I will say though, I was happy that I had a visor on and my sunglasses on to kind of stay in my own space a little bit, because I actually
Yeah.
found it kind of challenging. The overall stimulus coming from everywhere the whole time. Like, I mean, people told me that, oh, it's gonna be crazy. There are gonna be so many people like screaming and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, like it's gonna be great. Like, but it was a lot. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't think it would be like it was kind of almost hard to like stay focused on your own thing.
Yeah. I feel that. I could see that. It's funny because I did the New York City Marathon and I've only done 70.3, but I've not ever, like, I had not done a marathon. And I wear these big headphones when I run. Like, I love running with music because we can't run with music in triathlon. So I always, whenever it's a running event, I take advantage of it. Um, and I could hear people over my headphones. And I think for me, like, I like to zone out too. And it was like, it is a lot of energy. So when you're like down in a ditch and you're like, you need the energy, it's great, but ongoing the whole time, it's a lot for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
What was the best part of the course for you?
I mean, the best part was when I saw my husband. I'll be honest. Like, I knew exactly where he was going to be. I mean, he was like 1K from the finish line, and I knew he was going to be there. So I was like so looking forward to seeing him there, because I know. I mean, we traveled there together. It was his birthday, and I was. It's not an easy course to spectate, so it was kind of like he
Yeah.
only had one chance to see me there. So that was probably the best part was, and then obviously like just crossing the finish line and just accomplishing what you set out to do. That was amazing. the girls at the colleges, one of the colleges.
Yeah,
Just,
Wellesley. Yeah,
yeah,
the Scream Tunnel. Yeah,
that was definitely fun. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was great. I loved actually the bus ride over. I met some great women on the bus ride. I met somebody who actually bought a house recently in Salt Lake, which is not too far from me. And then later we connected on social media. And when she comes to visit, we were going to try to get together and go for a run. So I love those kinds of things from races.
yeah. I mean, the community, it's so awesome, right? Like even like running triathlon. I mean, I feel like because Boston, there were like, sorry, something is in my eye. Because there were like 32,000 runners and then all of their families and friends, the running, and people just come to watch it that are maybe, you know, wanting to do it next year or something. The community is just, the running community is like unbelievably amazing, like super friendly. I've met like a couple new friends too, just spectating. It was awesome.
Yeah. And it's different than in a triathlon. Like in a triathlon, you're just like, who's in my age group? Am I going to beat you? Or
Totally.
like, absolutely zero of that during the race. Like actually, like when I started the race, I ran together with one other girl, and I was super happy. Like we kind of traded off for the first 10 miles positions, and it was so nice to be like running with somebody. And not even once was I thinking that, oh, like I need to beat you at the end. She dropped off a little bit, and then I was kind of on my own for the rest of it from the third wave. But yeah, I like that. It's kind of like it's just you against your own goals or against the clock with all the support from the course and from the other competitor. Yeah. So.
That's amazing. I feel like I could see that because, you know, like whenever you're on the bike in a triathlon, you're always looking, if you're like riding with other people, you know, you look at how old they are and like if they're ahead of you, or if they're not in your age group, you're like, all right, cool, like I can hang with them, but you're not even allowed to talk in triathlon. Like, right? You can't even like, you can't run next to someone and talk the whole time. Like if a marshal sees you, I mean, I don't know about the,
Yeah. I've never. I mean, sometimes you like chat a tad bit, like tell somebody like your job or like, but you're usually just so dead by the end.
totally. I'm so excited for triathlon this summer.
So yeah.
I think it's a nice balance, like running and triathlon. Like both of the communities are different. And I think it's fun to have both. So will you do another marathon outside of triathlon? Yeah.
To Boston. I'm kind of like one and done when I accomplish my goal. I feel like I made a goal in Boston. I don't feel like the weather was great. I thought it got a little warm, but not bad. I mean, there was a little bit of a headwind, but I don't think I could go back. I can't say that, oh, I wish I had run faster. Like I ran as fast as I could that day. Like that was what I did. I thought though it would be really cool to try to run all three majors that are in US under 3 hours. So yeah. I'm thinking maybe running New York in 2026.
Okay. So, yeah, not next year, but the year after.
Yeah. I have to look into it. I believe I can use my because in New York you can qualify a couple of different ways. You can do the lottery, but you can also qualify with the time. I believe the Boston time will still be okay in terms of like it's not from too long ago to be able to use to qualify. So
yeah.
Did you run Boston? I mean, you said you ran New York.
I've only done one marathon. I really do 70.3. Like that's my thing. And I've had a sprained ankle for the last like 10 months. So I'm just getting back to it. And I was supposed to do New York again this year, but I just decided like I'm not going to try to do anything this year, like in 2025, because anytime I put something on the calendar, like I can't do it. So I'm just trying, like, and this is like, I'm also telling myself this as I tell you this. I'm just trying to like get back to a decent distance of miles and whatever. I mean, I'm at like ground zero with running. Like I went from doing 13.1, like training for those events and running, like a few times a week. And I love running, and like 8 miles was like a baby run. I was getting up into like 14, 15. I wasn't doing marathons, so I don't really do more than that. And then I went to like 0. But I've been running for like 20 years, so I'm sure I'll be fine. But it's just like, it's like getting back to it. Like now I go for a run and it's like 5 minutes of running and 1 minute of walking, because I was told I have to do that. Like I could certainly like run, but I feel like being injured. I don't know. Have you ever been injured? Like with, yeah.
So of course, I mean, I hadn't been injured until I started training for Boston, and that was like one bad thing about, like, it was right in our February break from school, which was like right 10 weeks before Boston, when you start ramping up your mileage. My Achilles started hurting. It's like, but I'm so like stubborn, because I had that like 3-hour goal in my head, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna train as hard as I still can. I mean, I would never give anybody that advice, but I was like, well, I'm not going to listen to anybody else's advice either, because if I can't run under 3 hours, I might as well not even go there. So I continued training. I didn't miss any sessions. I did physical therapy and dry needling for 6 weeks. And then honestly, like 10 days before the race, it just went away. Like it was
okay.
Like, I don't know
awesome.
how or why or what happened. I mean, I did do a lot of like strengthening of it at work every day. Like, so it was on my mind the whole time, and I kind of feel like it little bit took the joy out of Boston training, because I was always thinking about it.
Yeah, it's hard.
But I don't know, I was happy. I was totally prepared that I wasn't going to be able to like run for weeks after Boston, because I was going to be like so
destroyed.
injured.
Yeah. How are you feeling now?
It's actually taken longer than I thought to get back to like. I think because if you end up running a fast marathon, it takes a lot out of your body. Like, I feel like marathon is a lot harder to recover from than a half Ironman, at least for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Even though half Ironman takes you longer to do than a marathon, but just the swim and the bike are just a lot easier on your body. So that tomorrow I have my longest run, which is an hour. So, and it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like since, like, when I go on a run, I've been doing 45-minute runs. My heart rate is about 10 beats higher still, and my legs feel heavier.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we think that we're in great shape, and you just like pop back out, and you're like, well, what do you mean? Like, it's not going to be a big deal, but it takes a toll on your body. Like, you got to respect that.
What shoes did you run in?
And with Nike Alpha Flies.
Are those your go-to shoes for triathlon too?
So for triathlon, I use either Alpha Flies or Vapor Flies. Vapor Flies, I actually ordered a brand new pair of Vapor Flies like a week or two before, and I did a run with them. But I felt like the cushioning was a little bit less, so I wanted a little bit more cushioning for the so I ended up going with a little bit more foam. Yeah.
How did you get into like triathlon? Like how did you get into the sport?
I used to run track in college, so I had a running background, and then I didn't do anything for a while after. I ran a half marathon or two, and then I had my first kid in 2012, and then I would never really run more than like maybe 25, 30 miles a week, and something would start hurting. So after having Oscar, I was like, well, I want to like get back into shape, and just doing a triathlon sounded exciting. So I swam in middle school, but I'm an awful swimmer. I was like a breaststroke swimmer.
I'm only laughing because I'm like the worst swimmer.
I'm like, well, the breaststroke is only good for sighting when like everything else fails. At least I can like pop my head up and see where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think it's my weakest event out of all of them. But yeah, I got a bike, and I just was like, I think I did my first year, 2013. I did 2 sprints and an Olympic distance, and then the next year 2014, I did a half Ironman in St. George. So that was just the last one that they had today.
Right. I have to post. I'm doing a post about that. Trista put me
I've
up in
done
a
it.
post, and
So I actually need to make a post also, because I wrote down, I went back and looked at all my times, what places I was, what times were, and what my pictures are for each one of the years that I've done it. Because for a while, that was the race I would always do. I always joke that, you know what, I will do the race in May. That is a great way to get into shape for summer, so you're not super lazy for the winter. And then I really didn't race for the rest of the summer.
so how many times have you done the 70.3 in Utah?
So
What is
I've
it?
done
What is
seven gorges, and I think I've done about 10 other ones, so maybe like 7 total, and 3 full Ironman, and 6 full Ironman.
so? What do you have a distance preference?
I think honestly, I think I'm better at a full Ironman. I think just I have good. I run a really low heart rate, so I can just go for a long time now. I feel with age, also getting older, I just enjoy going a little bit slower and a little bit further. 70.3s are just nice also. It's just so much nicer to travel to places and do it with family, because it doesn't take that much of you and you still feel like a human being afterwards. So
Yeah.
I don't really do more than one Ironman a year. So
The 70.3 is also like easier to train for.
yeah.
Right? Like it's just more manageable when you have like a family and kids and work and career.
Yeah, you don't have to be like, oh, I need to go and ride for 6 hours. No, you don't. You can ride for 3
Yeah,
hours.
you'll be fine. Yeah.
14 miles and you're going to be fine. You don't need to run 18 or 20 miles. And
So
swimming.
what?
I mean, last year I was like, I did kind of like a little bit of a break from structured training last year, because I was got a little burnt out, and I told myself that I'm only doing downriver swim marathons. There was downriver swim triathlons. I don't want to have the pressure that I still swam like 2 or 3 times a week, but it was
Yeah.
nice. Like, well, I'm just gonna get into that river in Oregon or in Sacramento and float down that river, and then I will bike and run.
So, and when you do a downriver swim, and I'm so curious about this because I was going to sign up for one in Maine,
Okay.
but somebody talked me out of it. So I'm like, put me on like an incline or a hill on the bike or a run, and I am in my happy place. But put me in the water, and it's like death from the second I get in till the second I finish. And I make up my time on the bike and the run, but I swim for survival. So I thought, oh, I'll do a downriver swim.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend told me that the current could be so strong that you could miss the exit.
No.
I was like, oh my God, something else to be afraid of.
Well, you kind of, I mean, you have to pay attention, yes. Like in Sacramento, some people missed one of the buoys that you were supposed to go around, and then they had to swim upriver a bit. But if you do your homework and if you like pay attention, I actually think the best part about the downriver swim, yes, the race day is great, right? And you don't lose that much time to the good swimmers and stuff. But the best part is the training, is because you can actually bike and run as much as you want and don't have to worry about that swim. Because I felt like, because I did this 200-mile bike ride last year called Lodajaw. It's in Utah. It's the longest one day. And it had been on my bucket list forever, because everybody in Park City who's like a cyclist, like that's the thing, that if you're a cyclist, you got to get that sticker that you get from there and put it on your car. So I did the sticker. It took me 10 hours. And so I was getting ready for that. So I didn't really have that much time to swim. And then after that, I did Ironman Sacramento. And I felt like that was the kind of like, I knew I was able to do the Ironman still, because it was downriver swim and I didn't have to swim as much in my training. Like I know in a race I can get the swim done and I'll be fine, but the amount of hours it takes, and you could spend those hours at another place that you enjoy more.
Yeah, no, I love that philosophy. That's a good one. I've just completely decided to do relays lately. I know it's not a triathlon, so I've eliminated the swim. Now I just swim once a week at the pool for just to stay in shape for running and cycling. No, I will get back to swimming. It's just like all the things. Like I think since the pandemic, like since I've been back I don't know. I've done a couple full like 70.3s, but I like the relay because I basically outsourced the swim. And I really just love cycling and running. So, and I like the triathlon community. So I feel like that's my answer to it. And also then it opens up the door for me because I don't like, there's so many 70.3s I would love to do, but the swim is what kind of keeps me away. And also, like, look, the deal is like I'm not going to be fast and I don't care. I just want to do it for like the fun. If I were serious, like I used to be more serious, I would never be doing it as a relay, but I found it to be like a happy medium for me. But yeah, so yeah, I'm not a swimmer. I could swim, like,
To Boston, I was like, okay, well, I gotta I'm playing downriver swimming this year, so I gotta get back into swimming. And I have been swimming, I all year round, outside actually all year round in Park City, because the only pool that opens early enough at 5 a.m. is an outdoor pool, even if it's like -20 outside.
oh my God. So you swim in that?
Yeah, the pool is huge.
So that's why St. George is good for you too, right? Because it's cold in St. George.
Yeah, but
The
the
swim
pool
is cold.
is warm, so I don't swim in the cold water.
Oh, okay.
It's overly warm. But I actually joined like a group in Salt Lake that I drive to right now twice a week in the mornings to just to make myself get back into it. I felt like I needed a change. I felt like me just going to the pool by myself, doing the same thing over and over and over again is like not. It's not getting me anywhere. It's not making any difference. Like I'm just
Yeah.
dreading it. And so I feel like sometimes when you just get stuck, like any kind of like a change in stimulus, like that's why last year I was like, I don't want to do the same again. I want to like do that 200-mile bike ride, or like this year I was like, I want to run the Boston Marathon. Like I feel it's so important to just like do different things. Like you can still
Yeah.
do the marathon, but it's do the things that are on your bucket list that you want to actually do.
Yeah.
So it was sad to miss George, the last race that they're gonna have for a while, I guess. But I was like, you know what? I've done it 7 times. I have.
Yeah.
I'm ready to do something.
Because you would have gone. How did you connect with Octagon and with Trista? It's
So
such a great team. Yeah.
yeah, through some of my friends who live in Utah who are triathletes, I used to train with them, or I still do. So they were on the team, and they were like, "You need to apply." So I did it, and I got into it.
That's awesome. And you're on the Ventum bike now, right? Is that they're like kind of partners with Octagon?
I just got on the new one. I've done 3 rides on it. Got a bike fit, and I've done 3 rides on the new Ventum Tempest. It feels
Yeah.
great. I think it will be super fun to ride. It's so light, and I feel like it will be fun to ride also in the mountains, because sometimes tri bikes can be like kind of fun to ride when you're on flat. So I'm excited that I feel like this new bike will be fun also to climb with.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have to try it. It looks nice. I feel like, I had a different bike. I had a Canyon for last summer. I was like testing one out, and it's a great bike, but it just didn't really fit me, which is so important with like a bike and like having it just be the right fit for your body. I mean, I'm like 5'1", so yeah.
It
Yeah.
can be challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, it's challenging. But so what's your next race? Like what's your next event that you're going to start training for?
So I'm gonna do Boulder 70.3. One of those races that I'm not like I'm excited to go into a 70.3. I've done the same race twice,
Okay.
but it's drivable from Park City. It's 6-7 hours. There isn't that many of those that are close by. And Boulder is a great community. A lot of our Octagon team members live in Boulder. Like Trista lives there, Brennan lives there, Stephanie lives
Right.
there. Like there's a lot of people that I'm excited to go there and hang out with them and do the race. And then I'm gonna do Boise 70.3, and that one I'm really excited about.
That's
Because
a new one.
That's a
Yeah.
new one. Exactly. It's our team race, so we'll have a lot of Octagon team members there. And again, it's drivable from where I live. It's just 5 hours. So
There's not a lot of good drivable races from me. It's such a bummer. I'm in New York, and so I drive.
I hear you.
No, I said I'm in New York, so like they used to have more. They're not as many like drivable, like 5-6 hours. I'm gonna do Muscle Man in July. Have you done it?
No, the only
It's
one
nice.
coast is Eagle Man.
Yeah, that's in Maryland. Yeah. I'm
So,
gonna do Muscle Man, but I don't even know how. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to do a half marathon by then. But I'm gonna try. I'm just slowly getting back to running. It's like kind of around the corner, so like TBD. I don't have high expectations for like my performance. I just want to like get on the course and like do something.
yeah.
And then I'm signed up for New York 70.3 in September, which is, I'll probably be able to do that. That's
Okay.
more realistic. But then that's easy to drive to. There's like Pennsylvania, there's one, and there's another one. There's like a few, like 2 or 3, but they're not like beautiful. Like, I don't know. It's the courses don't excite me.
Yeah.
Reese announced last summer at one of them. I don't know. The courses are not exciting enough for me to like want to go to. But like Boise, that's where near Danielle Lewis lives near there, the triathlete, and she is promoting it, and it looks beautiful.
I think the swim. I actually ended up doing the bike course the other last year. I went for my soccer tournament again too, and coincidence, we ended up staying at a hotel that went past the bike course. I was in charge of booking the hotels, so
Yeah.
so I did the bike course. The bike course was so. I wasn't super excited. It's a lot of chip seal, so it's like a little rough, but the run is going to be absolutely beautiful. It's on that Boise river path, and it's a really cool city. So I think overall it will be a great addition to this part of the country, especially since St. George is not going to happen anymore. But I usually like one new race a year to do. So this year, I really want to do Santa Cruz. Maybe next year, 2026, I could do Santa Cruz. And those are usually then I'll travel with my whole family. We'll all go and like explore the place, and that's what we did with Boulder at first. And so, kind of make it a race station.
Is your husband also a triathlete?
No.
Oh, is he a runner or anything? No.
He goes to the gym. He's active, but one is enough. Like,
that's so funny. So you have like a built-in, like, so he's with the kids and you get to do all the races.
During the races, yes. I do a lot of my trainings before anybody even wakes up. Like, I get up every day at 4.
Wow. Okay.
I do most of my training in the morning, and then I do the other second workout during one of my kids' workouts, like they have soccer. I go on a run during my soccer, during their soccer, or like I go and swim. My training peaks looks like crazy because I feel bad for my coach because I usually like put it all in. This day I can do this, this, and this. This is my schedule. This is what I can do. This is what I can't do. You figure out how you're gonna make it work for me.
That's so funny. I'm like afraid to look at Training Peaks. Oh, I lost you. Okay, you're back. Training Peaks for me, I'm not even looking at it right now. I can't. Like, my fitness level is probably 5. Like, I'm just trying to have a sense of humor about it, but like I'm very serious, so I can't be like half in. Like,
Yeah.
so I have to like wait till I could tell you have that personality too. So like right now I'm just like, my bike computer didn't work today. I was like, whatever, like this isn't about like time today. This is just about like miles, being outside.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah, that's so important. I feel actually sometimes good. I feel sometimes we get so overwhelmed with all the data that, and like you overanalyze every single run or a bike ride. You come home and you're like, oh, my power. What was my normalized power? Was I better time than I was like? And it just gets too much. That's why I sometimes like I like to do group rides on Sundays with a group of cyclists in Park City, and I never know how hard we're gonna push, what we're gonna do, but it's I know I'm gonna spend 3 hours cycling, or I like to go trail run sometimes, and it's like I'm gonna spend hour and 15 minutes trail running. It doesn't matter how fast I went, and I feel like
I think
it's so important.
yeah, it's totally important. And what are you doing for nutrition and hydration? Like, what are some of your go-to products these days?
Well, I race with Precision Hydration with their with the carb mix and the gels and the juice. So I'm actually really fortunate. I can honestly eat anything. Like I'll eat anything that they give him on the course. I'll eat expired gels. I'll eat like not. I don't get like I'm not like picky or specific what I have to eat specifically.
Yeah.
But the precision gels and things definitely worked out really well, and I like the fact that they're not there's like very little flavor in them, so you don't get flavor fatigue. It also cracks me up when people are like, well, I'm not gonna like I couldn't take any more gels because I didn't like the taste of it, and I'm like, really? Like nobody likes the taste. Like it's not like you eat them for the taste of it.
I know. You're not supposed to think about it. You're just supposed to eat it. Like, that's it.
And but I think during the training though, like I try to eat just like when I go on a bike ride, and we always like on the 3 hour ride on Sundays, we always stop at this donut shop. It's Camus gas station donuts, and they got the best donuts, and I always eat a donut over there. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
gotta eat that donut.
I was having a conversation with someone the other day who's a cyclist, and he was saying how it's like so funny to hang out with triathletes
Okay.
as a cyclist, because like we don't like stop to eat, and it's so nice to like hang out with cyclists who like they're just out there for the day, like having a good day. I mean, they're not slow, but they're just like they have just a different mindset. Whereas, like, I used to always be training for a triathlon. And so all my friends would be like, oh, like, we're going to stop here or there. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to eat my bar. Like, I don't stop and eat. Like,
No,
yeah.
it's funny because when I did that 200-mile bike ride, the Loda job, I want to say we were like in our last hour. We had like maybe an hour and a half to go. And I took one of those 90-gram precision hydration gels, like 90 grams of carbs, opened it up, and I had the whole thing at once. And the guy who was just cycling next to me just looked at me and he's like, you just had the whole thing at once? And he was like, I've been like, I haven't been able to eat for hours. And I was like, well, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to keep fueling yourself as you go. Like, I felt like I definitely had like the nutrition part down during that race. I was like, yep, gotta get your grams of carbs in. So
That's so funny. Did you feel like it was different, like doing a marathon versus doing triathlon? Like, how did you fuel differently or not?
I think I did about 60, 70 grams of carbs per hour during the run.
Okay.
So I think that's about the same as I would do in a triathlon. It's just in a triathlon, the pace is, quite a bit slower. So I feel like it's like easier to actually eat the food.
Yeah.
I feel though, like I felt like a total triathlete on the course though, because I was like station, like grabbing the water and dumping it on myself just to prevent from getting too hot. And I wanted to tell the other runners, it's like, you're supposed to put water on yourself to feel cool. I don't feel like marathon are like doing all that.
They are just not the same. It's not the same thing.
No, and I was like
they don't know. Yeah.
As is possible. I'm sure I maybe cut some people off, but I was like, water, Gatorade. Like I was yelling out what I wanted because that's what I do in a triathlon. No, so they were doing here. So
It's definitely like different. I have to say, like, and like people were like, oh, it's so hot. I'm like, because like I never, like that was not hot. Like we do triathlon in 89 in 90 degrees. 90
Yeah.
degrees you're doing a marathon. Like because the time of the day.
Yeah.
So
I felt the same way when they
but
were
that's why it's nice to mix it up. Yeah.
definitely. But I will say at the end of the marathon, my legs had never felt so bad. They do not feel that bad at the end of the Ironman. So I'll give it to the marathon in terms of that.
Yeah, because it's a lot to be not have that bike warm up, right? Like the bike kind of gets your body.
And you're going for the faster pace, and it's just it like hurts a lot in terms of, and even the training. Like I was like in my training, I had a lot of times when I was like, I don't know if I can do this whole thing. Like I want to say I started believing that I can run under 3 hours. Maybe the last 2 or 3 weeks, the first 10 weeks of the build, I was like, there's no way. Like I can't run that fast. Like I can go for a while, but I can't run that fast. So running fast is a different beast.
It's a different sport. It's like a totally different. Yeah, awesome. Well, this has been so much fun. I feel like, well, maybe we'll meet in New York because maybe you'll come up and do the New York City Marathon.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends who want to do it. I coach high school cross country. 2 of the other coaches are like, yeah, let's do New York because they haven't done New York. Hopefully 2026 we'll do New York.
That's when I'll be doing it.
Yeah. Awesome. And maybe Chicago one day. I don't know.
Where do you get from like all the sports that you do, like that empower you, lessons that help you be a better mom, and also maybe something that help you in your job as a teacher? Like what lessons do you take from sport?
I definitely just the perseverance. Just like hard times, you're going to have hard times on the bike, on the run, whatever, but you're going to get through this. You put in the work, you get the results. That's kind of what I'm trying to teach my own children also, that there's no shortcuts, like perseverance, then also consistency, putting in the work to see the results. I think those are the main things. And just the fact that you can do hard things. I know it sounds like, just cliche, you can do hard things. Yeah. I think
that's awesome.
Why I feel like endurance sports, like I think like a lot of people who do endurance sports are successful in other avenues in life too. So because we just have that mindset that you can do this, like, it would be so easy to be like, oh yeah, I can't ride this weekend because I'm at a soccer tournament, but I'm like, well, I can bring my bike, or like you can always like find solutions to get things done. So
I love that. That's awesome. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much for taking the time in the middle of like the soccer